Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Infinity, and this is Magnetize Yourself, where we talk about life, love, spirituality, and of course, the law of attraction. I hope you're all doing really well. Merry Christmas to those of you who celebrate the holidays this year. So I am going to go ahead and start into this reading by shuffling the traditional tarot deck just to see what comes through. Okay, so right away I'm hearing a lot of energetic interference. I feel like there are just a lot of energies kind of flying around that may be potentially affecting you. Now, part of this is a collective thing because so much of the world is currently celebrating a holiday, and this can affect the collective energies because there are so many people dealing with so many different dynamics and personality types and people in their lives. There's kind of like this amped up feeling globally. So if you're someone who's very empathic, you might be feeling that empathically because of what the collective is experiencing. And of course, you could be feeling some of that on a personal, energetic level as well. But I really want to kind of clear out any distracting potential influences and get to the core of who or what may be connecting with you personally, apart from any of those kind of chaotic influences. So who or what is connecting with you at a personal level? Okay, so the first card we have here is the Page of Cups. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Sun card. It's interesting that I just sighed there. I feel like you may be making someone kind of sigh in a romantic sense where it's like, I'm hearing, I just can't believe I like you so much. It's like someone feeling so much emotion for you that it just kind of comes out in this sigh, metaphorically or literally. I got the name James for someone. But what I'm getting here is there's something intuitive happening that's coming up in the cards. So it's almost like your intuition is sensing, I'm hearing that someone is going to be important for you, or that something is going to be important for you if this isn't a person, because this doesn't necessarily have to be a specific person for you. But what I'm getting is this sense of something is important that's taking place here. And my intuition is aware of it, which is why we're getting a card so connected with the intuition. And yet it's a Page of Cups. So something about this might actually seem very small on the surface. It might have this feeling of, well, something seems to be very important here, but I'm not sure exactly what it is or what it's going to grow into. That's the sense that I'm getting here. For some of you, this actually could be a person connected to you who I'm hearing that they are perceiving themselves as kind of a page when it comes to you. I'm hearing the word overshadowed. So they may feel overshadowed by you, not in a negative, jealous sense, but in the sense that they see you as this really profound person that they kind of have on a pedestal here, and they're feeling overshadowed in that sense. They're feeling like, I feel like I'm way out of my depth, but I just keep going. The word friendship is coming through really strongly. I feel like this is someone who may have romantic desires or intentions towards you, but they would really love to be in your life in any capacity. I'm hearing they would settle for friendship. So it's like, this is someone who so wants to be around you, who wants to be connected to you, without even really consciously knowing why, that they would rather be kind of in the friend zone in a sense and still be in your life as a friend if you were not interested romantically. I feel like they're kind of letting you set the tone for what this connection is going to be, and also set the pace for how quickly it's going to evolve here. So With the Three of Cups also, I feel that this is someone who really wants to spend more time with you in person. Now, for some of you, maybe this is literally just a friend or a non-romantic situation. This doesn't have to be romantic. This even could be an idea that feels new, but that's connecting with your intuition. This could be some internal aspect of yourself. So take it however it's connecting. But with the Hierophant in the reverse position and the Fool card, I feel as though there is something very unconventional going on here, and yet this person seems to be embracing the unconventionality. So they don't seem to be afraid of the fact that something here, maybe it's you generally that are unconventional. Maybe it's just you and your energy that kind of breaks with the norm, with tradition, that you're a very non-conforming kind of person. But for others of you, this actually could relate to your bond with this person. So there could be some sort of obstacle here, some sort of barrier between the two of you connecting, but it's almost like I'm hearing they don't even see that barrier, or they're kind of almost like refusing to acknowledge it because they're so determined to want to connect with you here. And I almost said they're so determined to stay connected, which you guys will know if you've been listening to the channel, that actually directly correlates to the last collective reading I did, which was this masculine is determined to stay connected with you. Now, I wasn't necessarily getting those labels masculine or feminine in this particular reading, so only take that if it does connect with you. And of course, these labels are to describe energy dynamics. So we all have a balance internally of both masculine and feminine energy. So it could apply to your internal masculine, your internal feminine, or to some external person or situation. I always say that your intuition really is your compass through life. So always listen to your intuition above all else here. But I'm definitely getting that whoever this person is, this is someone who really wants to spend more time around you in person. Now, specifically, the holidays may actually have this person thinking even more strongly at this time about how much they want to progress this. When they are participating in the holidays, whatever they celebrate, what they're noticing is, I'm hearing they see you in an empty chair. It's like they imagine what it would be like to be sharing those moments with you. And I feel that they've never really encountered someone that they wanted to share their life with so strongly that they would start envisioning or imagining that person into scenarios or places or gatherings where the two of you could spend time together. I'm hearing where you could get to know like their family, their friends. They seem to really want you to be a real-time part of their life, and they want to integrate this connection into their daily regular life and routine. But I do see that when it comes to integrating this connection into your daily lives, there do seem to be those obstacles that we're talking about here. So I am going to be getting deep into this energy. I'm actually going to be doing something that I did on Patreon in the last reading that I haven't done in a while. And I'm actually going to go one chakra center at a time. And I am going to open up the reading to whatever messages want to come through on any of those chakra centers for you. So I imagine this particular person or thread of energy will be coming through many of those messages, but I'm also going to be opening it up to whatever wants to come through each of those chakra centers. This is one way that I really like to break down the energy dynamics. Now, of course, there are an unlimited number of ways to really conceptualize and illustrate and define energy, and using the chakra system is just one of these ways, but it's one that I personally like and really resonate with. So we're going to be using it in today's reading. Now, I usually say this at the beginning, but if you do want to contribute your energy in a stronger way, I do recommend subscribing to the channel, because by subscribing and being part of our community here on YouTube, this allows me to pick up on your energy more strongly, both in this reading video and in future reading videos as well. Also, when you subscribe and turn on notifications, this will allow me to notify you in real time whenever I receive messages that may be personal and related to your life through these reading videos. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with the root chakra. The root chakra is most connected with our subconscious mind, but also with our manifested physical world. And this is because our physical world, in a sense, really is a product of our subconscious thoughts and habit loops, our kind of neurological pathways stored within the subconscious, which is why I always say the root chakra relates to the subconscious, but also to the manifested world, because our generalized manifested world is actually coming from what's happening in our energy field subconsciously. So I'm going to start here. I'm not sure why I felt guided to kind of go deep into that little subconscious dynamic here. Maybe that will relate somehow to this person's energy or to something that comes up at this point in the reading. Okay, so yeah, that makes sense. So with the Strength card reversed, this person that we've been channeling into, or for some of you, this could be someone else, but I'm getting this thread of energy of someone who is feeling very vulnerable, very self-conscious, and this is affecting how they're interacting with you. Now, this, as we said, is on the root chakra, so it's what's manifesting for them consciously, but that's because it speaks to patterns of thought they have around doubting themselves, around feeling vulnerable, around lacking self-confidence, those kind of subconscious thought patterns that we've been talking about here. Many of these I'm hearing may have actually been ingrained in them from childhood. For some of them, I'm seeing some kind of group or organization, or maybe it's their schooling growing up or something. There may have been a group of people that played some kind of role in ingraining this person with these negative subconscious thoughts about themselves that cause them to doubt themselves. I'm also just getting the word emotional. So I feel like this is someone very self-conscious about being a highly emotional person. Now, I know I said that I wasn't getting necessarily specific energy dynamic labels like masculine or feminine, but I have to say for many of you, this specific thread of energy feels very masculine. It feels like a masculine who is feeling as though they are unnaturally emotional for a masculine energy, and that makes them feel, and I saw the numbers 12, 21, that makes them feel self-conscious. Now, 1221 is a reverse mirrored number in a sense. So there's something about the two of you reverse mirroring each other where I feel we're going to get more into that later. I'm not getting too many messages on that dynamic right now, but let's reserve that and kind of put a placeholder in that for later on. But I do sense that, I don't know why this is so specific, but I feel like you have had this experience in the past of being in a crowded room or in a space full of people and suddenly feeling very alone and overwhelmed by sudden sad emotion. I don't know why. I'm just seeing someone who's like leaving a party or leaving this huge social gathering, leaving this crowded place to just cry. I know this is so specific, but it's like this may be something that sometimes happens to you. Now, part of this is because you are very empathic. So when you're in very crowded places, it can actually be emotionally overwhelming because you are picking up on all kinds of emotions and energies from the people and things around you, even things that most people are very unconscious of. But I'm also hearing that this is something that this person, which again could be a masculine, experiences as well. One way that you mirror each other is you both have this experience of sometimes feeling extremely lonely in a crowd. I'm hearing lonelier in a crowd than when you're alone. Wow, very interesting. This is giving hermit energy. This is also giving lone wolf energy. And it's reminding me of something I channeled recently. Two lone wolves find each other. And I feel like that's what's happening here, that both of you have always uniquely carried around this sense of kind of being an outsider, but always being capable of socializing, of connecting with other people, but feeling like an outsider throughout that entire process of socialization and communication, having that kind of lone wolf energy. But it's almost like the two of you here are meeting and coming together to kind of form a sort of alliance of your own. At the bottom of the deck, we actually had the Lovers, which whenever a card's at the bottom of the deck, it always tells me that there's something about it that's kind of hidden or mysterious. So there's actually a very powerful soul connection between the two of you. And yet something about it feels almost shrouded in mystery. It feels very mysterious here. Now, you are coming up on the root chakra as the Queen of Wands and the Empress. So what I'm getting here for you is that the rhythm and flow of your manifested physical life hinges on your ability to maintain an abundant mindset and a state of freedom, not to be tempted back into chains is what I'm hearing, to be tempted back into tying yourself into restriction of some kind. Recognizing that you are carrying these higher programs and frequencies and energies. We've talked about this before, how you are kind of like this computer system that's been upgraded. And once your system has been upgraded, old programs that possibly used to work flawlessly on that older system will no longer work. And that doesn't mean the new system is worse or broken. Actually, in this case, it means it's better, it's more evolved, it's more advanced, it has higher processing power is what my guides are saying. But it's interesting they're using these words because I feel somehow in this metaphor that relates to you having a higher processing power in your energy, being able to actually take and process huge amounts of energy, huge amounts of information subconsciously, and then assemble those things into natural plans or formulas or steps forward that are fed to you through your intuition. And you're able to do all of this because you've allowed these spiritual upgrades to take place in your kind of so-called operating system, just like an upgraded computer system. But trying to run those old programs would actually crash out the system. Your victory, your continued thriving, your continued breakthrough seems to hinge on your ability to, I'm hearing, to find confidence in the unknown, to find stability in riding the waves on this ocean here. And I'm also getting the message that the ups and downs that you may be experiencing right now or recently, because I'm definitely picking on someone who has been feeling these ups and downs, especially if you consider yourself to be a divine feminine. But these ups and downs, while your conscious mind may judge them as mood swings, as emotional volatility, that's not really the whole story, but it's not even really the case here, because these ups and downs are actually indications that you've been given access to a very, very powerful energy that could be likened to huge waves on the ocean, where if you learn how to float on top of the waves and kind of ride them, they can push you forward and propel you in a really profound, effective kind of way. But on the other hand, if you kind of lose your balance and fall under the waves, then that can feel more intense as well. So it's almost like you've been given access to these huge waves of energy that you can use to your advantage. But there's kind of this tricky training process in figuring out how to harness that kind of power. And that's why at times you feel the ups and downs, because you're learning how to work with a very free-form, intense, powerful energy that many people are not, I'm hearing, granted clearance to or granted access to, because they would not be able to work with it. I also feel like this has been recent, where like you've been allowed access to this higher energy, to this greater amount of energy. And just like this can be utilized to propel you forward very quickly towards your goals, if you learn how to surrender into it, how to kind of ride the waves, again, it can also lead to those moments of kind of feeling like you're burning out to a greater extreme. So if you've been feeling that way, know that nothing is going wrong. It's all part of the process here. But I do see that your dominant energies consciously are the Queen of Wands, the Empress, and the Six of Wands, which are some of the most beautiful cards in the deck, because this speaks to you being stable, magnetic, confident, and also on the brink or currently experiencing some kind of breakthrough. I'm hearing 3 months. That might be the case for someone. But for many of you, I feel like you're either already experiencing or soon will be experiencing some kind of breakthrough. I'm also just hearing, keep your life in flow. Keep yourself balanced. You know how to do this. You know how to kind of remain in this mastery space when it comes to your personal energy. And I feel the only reason at times that you may not do that is because you begin to question what you know, or maybe, again, especially this time of year, there may be people or influences around you who don't really get why you operate in such a unique way. So this is really about you being confident and being so unconventional with that Hierophant reversed energy. Again, you really embracing the unconventional way that you create, that you move, that you approach your life, because it works for you, because you have, again, access to this higher energy and this upgraded operating system that most people may not necessarily have access to or fully understand here. But I'm going to go ahead and reshuffle the cards. We have the Hermit card. So while you do seem to be in this really beautiful energetic state, there may be this pervasive loneliness at times. But once again, just like I heard two lone wolves find each other, I'm hearing two lonely souls find each other. I feel like this is going to sound so strange, but between you and this other person, whether it's a romantic person, a friend, a business connection, it's like two people who have been walking around. I'm getting so many goosebumps as I channel into this, by the way, but two people who have been walking around with this pervasive sense of loneliness within themselves individually their entire lives come together and almost instantly recognize that same loneliness within the other. But this is so hard to explain or describe because it's not just like one person who's lonely recognizing, hey, that other person looks lonely. It's like you are tapped into the exact same frequency. It's more like two people living on a planet where no one else is living, that's completely uninhabited, and then running into each other. That's how this is. It's realizing that you've been existing in the same space, existing on this same wavelength of loneliness, even as you've been walking around physically in a crowded world, and recognizing that you are the only two who really understand that loneliness that you've been sharing, and also the only two that can really relate and communicate, I'm hearing, without words on that level. So there's something about the communication here that seems to go so much deeper than words. In fact, for some of you, words may not even really be involved here. It's like something that's truly ineffable, truly indescribable, which, by the way, that word ineffable has been coming up through the collective a lot recently, just experiencing things that don't seem to quite have words to describe them, whether it's a kind of love, a connection, a feeling of fulfillment. I feel that, okay, let's take this one chakra at a time, because again, the thing about this energy and what's coming through in the reading and what you might be experiencing is it really requires laser point focus to retrieve the important information. So maybe that's relevant to you in some way. It's almost like there's so much going on here in the quantum field, in your energy, and how other people are connecting with you. I'm hearing you have to ask the right questions. You have to be specific in your requests or in your questions to get the information that you're looking for. But I feel like I'm talking about how you're sourcing higher guidance, how you're sourcing your intuition, how you're receiving kind of like this divine information. You have to be very clear in order to get clear results in this kind of energetic environment is what I'm getting. So I know that's kind of speaking in a quantum way, but hopefully that connects with you. Now, let's go ahead and move up to the sacral chakra. And right away, I felt this wave of energy. So I know there's a lot going on in the sacral chakra, especially when it comes to you and this specific person, this thread of energy we've been picking up on. This person seems to be really activating your sacral chakra at this time. You might be feeling that activation within yourself and not really knowing where it's coming from? Well, it's coming from this person. They are, I'm hearing, really trying to pace themselves and to slow themselves down because they feel as though they're very quickly getting in over their head with the card, I'm trying to distract myself from thinking of you. I also feel like this is someone who's trying so hard to be present with the people around them, again, especially with the holidays, to really live in the moment here. But you are making it so difficult, not on purpose, but just these thoughts of you are very distracting to them. So we have the card, my love for you will never change. So part of the wave of emotion hitting this person, I also got the word monogamous. Like this is someone who feels some kind of like soul monogamy with you, like a very exclusive energy with you. Even if you aren't together in a physical relationship, it's almost like, oh, wow, okay, you're the best that's ever happened to me. And I'm still getting chills all over. This tells me that this is a very powerful spiritual connection. So this is someone realizing that it's like ever since I'm hearing even since they encountered your energy, it's been impossible for them to really desire to pursue anyone or anything else. They've actually been initiated into this sense of soul monogamy, like this devotion to you on a soul level. And this has been very conflicting and confusing to this person because, again, I feel that they are really trying to stay grounded, really trying to stay in the moment here. But I'm hearing all they ever do is think about you. They've never thought about someone as strongly as they're thinking about you. I can feel your energy everywhere. I know you're the one, and that scares me. I mean, you can just see this through all of the messages coming through here. So I'm going to go ahead and reshuffle the cards. I'm really getting this sense, I'm hearing hold your horses. Like I'm really getting the sense of someone here who is trying so hard to hold themselves back, to kind of pace themselves here. So because that's coming up on the energy, I am going to kind of jump up to the throat chakra. I don't usually jump around, but I feel with how fluid the energy is in this reading, it kind of actually makes sense in this context. So let's look at the throat chakra and what is it that they're trying to hold back? Just giving everything away to you, giving everything away emotionally with man holding a heart in the upright position. I'm hearing I want to lay all my cards on the table. Yeah, with the Angel of Love card, they want to tell you how magnetic they perceive you as being, how beautiful. But the thing about the Angel of Love's beauty is her beauty comes from her heart and from her energy. Yes, I feel this person finds you very physically attractive, but they feel that your beauty is soul deep. And that is, I'm hearing your attractiveness physically may have initially caught their eye, but your soul is what has made you impossible to let go. It's what's really held their attention. They also seem to want to be communicating what's on their heart with the heart chakra here. In fact, really what I'm getting is I can't hold back what's on my heart anymore. Like all of these emotions coming up on their heart space have been literally flooding over, that it's almost like they can't help but spill over into physical words being communicated to you. So what does this person want to communicate that they're feeling emotionally? Admiration, deep admiration and respect that they think about constantly. Constantly they think about all the things they really appreciate about you, but also with the crown chakra, they know on some level that what's going on between the two of you is very spiritual in nature. They have been feeling their energy softening somehow, opening up in new ways since connecting with you or since meeting you. With grief in the reverse position, I almost feel like secretly when you first met or connected, even if you weren't consciously aware of it, this person was in a state of deep soul grief because of that loneliness that I was describing. I'm hearing, where is my person? Like they may have just walked around feeling like apathetic towards almost everyone that they would encounter and feeling this loneliness, almost like I'm hearing I'm thinking of those animals that mate for life, but it's almost like in this case that this person never truly understood what love really was, or really walked around feeling mostly apathetic towards potential love connections, trying to almost like talk themselves into feeling something that they'd never experienced, but feeling pervasive loneliness, like, will I ever meet that person for me? And I feel like since connecting with you, again, there's that sense that I know you're the one, and that scares me. That message that came up earlier in the Oracle deck. So let's see if we can pull anything else from that deck, because I feel like it's been really descriptive for this reading. And of course, we have the card, I love you with all my heart and soul. And I'm hearing them say, but how do I even begin to communicate that without seeming crazy, is what I'm getting from this person. I don't know how to live without you. Yeah, again, this is someone already imagining you into their life. And the thing about the both of you, again, with this lone wolf energy, it's almost as though you both really seem to enjoy being alone to some extent. Yes, there is a loneliness at times associated with that. And there's been this feeling of, when will I truly connect with my person or my people? But at the same time, you are both very evolved souls, and therefore you're very independent down to a core soul level. And you tend to really refuel and recharge in your own energy. But the beautiful thing about connecting with each other is you seem to be the one person with whom the both of you can actually recharge and refuel together, like in the same space, or even kind of have that effect on each other. And that's why this person is coming up as saying, I don't know how to live without you. But the message I keep getting as well is that a part of them just almost feels crazy for feeling that way. So maybe that speaks to some of the obstacles between you, or maybe this connection is very new or recent. But regardless, in the extended version of this reading on Patreon, we're going to be looking at the rest of the chakra centers. And so the solar plexus chakra, I guess we haven't fully gotten to the heart chakra yet. I thought we had for a second, because so much heart chakra energy came up in the throat, but we hadn't specifically talked about the heart chakra. So we'll talk about the heart, what's in the shared heart space of this person and this connection, the third eye chakra, and the crown chakra. And just like I did in this reading, I will be leaving it open-ended to channeling anything that wants to come through those chakra centers. But just like in this reading, I imagine a lot of what comes through will be centered around this specific connection that we've been picking up on so strongly. So if you do want to join me in the extended version of the reading on Patreon, the link to do so is in the pinned comment and description box underneath this video. We will be channeling into all of those additional chakra centers, as well as any other messages or pieces of information that want to come through. And when you join our beautiful soul tribe on Patreon, you get access to all of the Monday, Wednesday, and Friday extended readings that I channel every single week. So again, the link to that is below. Okay, so I'm going to read a little message from the guidebook here. Enter the lion's jungle. Don't think about getting hurt. Fearful thoughts are phantoms of the mind. No one is harmed in this jungle. Everything is compassion and love. It is your fear holding you back, like a bar behind the door. Rumi. And the guidebook also says, how I celebrate for you. After so long away from home, you are finally returning. Beyond the threshold of fear, you dispense with your doubts, hesitations, cautions, and tentativeness. They are old friends with whom you no longer have anything in common. After so long, you are changing your relationship to fear. No more shall it hold you in its thrall. You are becoming able to observe it, to witness it, even to have compassion rather than resistance. Instead of subconsciously sabotaging your growth and choosing to slumber in darkness, you awaken and delight in the light and sound of your own divine being. So I'm going to go ahead and close the reading there. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Again, Merry Christmas to those of you who do celebrate. I hope you have an amazing remainder of your day, and I will connect with you here again in Friday's reading.